Ever been freaking out when someone says, just relax? There's a strong desire to want to punch them. Telling someone to relax isn't a tool, it's a wish. So here are 3 body-based tools that I share with my clients and I reach for when my system gets too loud. The first tool is breath. Anxiety, stress wrecks our breathing pattern, driving it shallow and fast. But here's the useful part. It runs the other way too. Change the breath on purpose and it talks straight back to the nervous system. That's why it's the fastest lever we've got. It's one of the only things that runs on autopilot and also lets you grab the wheel. One of the ones that I really reach for is called cyclic sighing. Stanford tested it against a lot of others and found it to be really effective. Doing it just 5 minutes a day improved mood, brought down anxiety, and here it is. You inhale through your nose, and then before you let it go, sneak in a second little inhale on top of it, and then a long, slow sigh. And here it is again. Inhale, second inhale, sigh. That's the whole thing. To shift the body that it's allowed to soften. When you practice it, notice what just a couple cycles will do, and then what a whole minute will feel like as you work your way up to 5. Important note about this tool. It gets stronger every time you practice it. So when you start practicing this, do it when you're fine, not just when you're falling apart. You're building a path back to calm. So when the system goes loud, the body already knows a way to get there. Already knows a way to get back to the calm. And if you're curious for more breath patterns, I included a link at the end of the video where I go over those in more detail. The second tool, cut the noise. When you're already over-revved, every input is one more thing the system has to chew. Phone buzzing, music, notification stacking. At some point, the original stressor isn't even the problem. The problem is your system is choking on all of the too much noise. So you cut out. Not forever. Just long enough to stop getting poked and prodded by everything coming in. This became really clear to me when I did work with float tanks. Float tanks are these large, dark, silent places where nothing for the senses to grab onto. Not even the work of holding yourself up. And being in one of these for an hour, and the calm I felt afterwards lasted for days. And then the same principle for my daily life. And I actually stole this writing rule from Neil Gaiman. And his rule was write or do nothing. Sit down and type, but if you don't want to do that, don't check your phone or clean the kitchen, writing or just sit there. The thing you want to do or nothing. And doing nothing sounds useless until you try it. I step away, kill the inputs, just sit. And the mind starts sorting on its own. A decision surfaces, a solution rises up out of nowhere. The pressure drops enough that I can get back in. So when you're spiraling, quiet the room before you try to quiet your mind. Dim the lights, put the phone away, close the tabs, and just allowing the peace to sink in. Third tool, do physical things with other people. Your nervous system regulates off the other people around you. And it's not just a nice idea, it's the wiring. Being alone all day and not moving is a recipe for stress. Is a way for me to keep my head screwed on right. Getting into shared movement and connection shifts the body faster than anything I can think my way out of. Dancing, a hike with a friend, something a little ridiculous, something that has laughter and rhythm, a bit of sweat. The energy has somewhere to go, and the mind gets something other than itself to track. Isolation, on the other hand, makes the stress loop louder. You're alone with the story, and it just runs. They've studied solitary confinement in prisoners and found a link between that isolation and brain damage. But you put a regulated person with another person, and then there's contact, attunement, another system to regulate with and find calm. And it doesn't need to be big. We don't have to share our whole inner landscape. A simple walk will do just fine. Because trying to think our way out of anxiety is a dead end. Anxiety is just as much a physical response, and giving it a physical way out is a part of the process. Doing this with regularity is huge, not just in the moment, but across a whole week, a whole month, a whole lifetime. It's just steady to prove to our nervous systems that it doesn't have to hold on all the time. It can find that deep calm. All right, here's the link if you want for more of the video on the breath.